350 delegates to the Winnipeg Conference, representing the Zionists of Canada. These are the men and women who on July 11, 1927, when the cause of Zionism in the New World was little understood, these are the people who pledged themselves to raise $1 million to redeem a valley in the land of their forefathers. They had heard an address by a great Zionist leader who had come from Palestine, Menachem Yusishkin, then president of the World Jewish National Fund. Inspired by his faith and his eloquence, and following the leadership of the foremost Zionist in the Dominion, Archibald Freeman, the Jews of Canada resolved to look half the world away to Palestine. Half the world away in terms of longitude and latitude, but in human terms closely bound. Here on the coastal plain of Eretz Israel, between Haifa and Tel Aviv, the Jews of Canada, by their contributions to the National Fund, purchased a wide stretch of land, known then as Wadi Hawareth. In biblical times, so beautiful was this part of the Sharon Valley that King Solomon sang of it in his Song of Songs. I went down into the garden of nuts to see the green plants of the valley, to see whether the vine budded and the pomegranates were in flower. So sang King Solomon. No vines nor pomegranates here 20 years ago, only swamp and trackless waste, hot sun and stagnation. Mosquitoes, million upon million. Yes, this area where the rose of Sharon once bloomed was among the most pestilential in Palestine, when a handful of Jews settled it and restored its ancient biblical name, Emeketa. To kill the dread mosquitoes, the carriers of malaria, they pumped oil upon the waters. And they drained the marshes and dug irrigation canals. For the precious water without which there can be no life, they laid their water mains. And the water sprung fresh and sweet from the earth. Water for the 12,000 people soon to come to Emeketa. Water for 20 new villages, all built in the past 2 decades on land acquired and reclaimed by the Jewish National Fund. Today, a fine modern road leads to the administrative center of Emeketa, the village called Kfar Vidkin. Approached by a bridge over the River Alexander, the macadamized road leads past the water tower to the heart of the village, the administration building. Kfar Vidkin is a moshav, a smallholders village, where each settler has his own house and works his own soil, but where modern progressive schools, health services, irrigation and plowing are provided on a communal basis. There is a cooperative store where the people may buy what they do not produce on their land. And the produce of the land, what these pioneers have made to grow, is sold by a great cooperative organization, which is also responsible for the many and varied public services designed to benefit all the individuals of the community. Named in memory of Joseph Vidkin, one of the early leaders of the pioneer movement, Kfar Vidkin, in a few short years, has become a thriving settlement. Here, as elsewhere in Jewish Palestine, a cooperative activity has been developed like no other in the world. Ma Abarut, a collective settlement, lies on the coastal highway to Haifa. Its assets and its responsibilities, as in every collective settlement, are shared by each inhabitant. The work is concentrated in the orange groves. There is no frost in Palestine as in California or Spain, or high winds as in Florida. The oranges grow fast and profuse and of an extraordinary sweetness. And as the orange industry prospers, so does the whole settlement. It is like one great family in both the factual and spiritual sense. Its ideal is brotherhood in work and play and in learning. And that is the ideal of all of Jewish Palestine. For the settlers realize that in the common effort lies the common destiny. This is Kfar Aroe, an Orthodox settlement named for the late chief rabbi of Palestine, Rabbi Abraham HaKohen Cook. Here there is a famous yeshiva, a Talmudical college, to which students from all over the country come to study the Torah. And while pursuing their Talmudic studies, the yeshiva students are given agricultural training. The old and the new in Jewish life go hand in hand. Kfar Yedidia, a smallholders' village, was founded by refugees from Nazi Germany. Here they have found peace and a sense of belonging far deeper than ever they knew on the continent of Europe. They would not leave Palestine now, with all the labor they have invested in its soil and its industries, even were the ashes of Europe turned to gold. They have sunk their roots deep into Palestine. They have begun to see the fruits of their labor, and here they will remain whatever the future may bring. A few miles away in Emek Hefer lies the Yemenite settlement of El Yashiv. The name means the Lord will restore. Many centuries ago, Jewish exiles from Palestine made their way to Yemen in southern Arabia, where they suffered degradation and persecution. But a fervent adherence to Judaism, a great love of the Bible and the Hebrew language, and a longing for the promised land persevered among them, and they came back and built anew. Thousands of them have returned from Yemen, have been reintegrated into Eretz Israel, and have adopted its way of life. At En HaHoresh, as in every community in Emek Hefer, the activity is largely agricultural, but the settlement has its industry too. Mineral deposits are nearby. Here we see a workshop for tin utensils. Palestine has grown as rapidly as it has because the settlers have utilized every resource of the land. This is Avihail, a war veteran settlement founded by members of the Jewish Legion who fought with the British in the First World War and helped to liberate the country. As war veterans, they love peace and have throughout the years cultivated neighborly relations with the Arabs. At Nira in Emek Hefer, the settlers found that the community could not subsist on agriculture alone. And so, with the ingenuity so typical of the Palestinian Jew, they built a weaving factory. Each man and woman is a joint owner and contributes half the day to work at the looms, while the rest of the day is devoted to work on the land. In the settlement of Yivat Haim, agriculture has also been supplemented by industry. This is a jam factory, and the fruits for the jam come from the land. Yes, in this fusion of agricultural and industrial activity, in the development of a new kind of social democracy, in its dedication to land and labor, Jewish Palestine has become, in a mere few decades, the most progressive force in the Middle East. It could serve, if it is allowed to grow, as a dynamo, a great propulsive energy for all the lands that lie about it. On the western rim of Emek Hefer lies Nathania, named for the American Jewish philanthropist Nathan Strauss. Now one of the world's important centers of the diamond industry, it is a modern industrial city, and it is the seaside resort for the settlers of Emek Hefer, who have paid for their rest and recreation in sweat, vigilance, and unshakable faith in the future of their land. The future of their land is the children. They want to educate their children in the ideals on which modern Eretz Israel was founded and has grown. They want each member of the community to have the chance to express himself creatively. They want the certainty of peace, the opportunity for laughter, not for their children alone, but for all children everywhere. Yes, these people have built a solid foundation for an enduring state. They have attained new hope, new dignity, a new life. Here they are, and here they will remain, continuing to build in the valleys, in the hills, in the cities, and on the farms, in Emek Hefer, and in all of Eretz Israel.